some of those like third world countries, I think they hate black people even more than they do in first world countries. I'm a white guy. I'm from the U.S. I'm a passport bro. Over the past couple of years, I've been going to countries like Mexico, Colombia, Peru.
Do you agree when I've said that the average white guy would probably have an easier road dating than the average black guy? What's your thoughts on that as a white guy? What do you think about that?
Yeah, so this is an interesting video that I saw and conversation I've had many times with my fellow travelers, other fellas that I know travel a lot to South America specifically, whether you're in the DR, Colombia, Brazil, Peru, any one of these countries. We have a thing we talk about when it comes to the preference of the women dealing with white brothers. And it's no shade towards the brothers that are white. I got homeboys that are white, homeboys that are Hispanic, homeboys that are black, Asian, Indian, all in the travel community. But it's just something that I think a lot of times gets swept under the rug when you watch these travel channels, and it's something they don't like to talk about. And I think it's important to be aware of this as you travel, so you have an understanding of where you are, how to maneuver the dating scene, and why you may be rejected, and which areas more preferential for you as a brother, as African American brother like myself, right? Now, this guy right here who called into King Richard's show is a white guy. I think he has a very interesting perspective.
Yeah, of course. Okay, the thing is, the reason I'm a passport bro because I'm on the shorter side. I'm like 6'5'7".
Exactly.
The thing is, like,
In the
I
U.S., he's
definitely
cooked,
agree with what you're saying because,
even if he's
like,
white.
I've known black guys that are taller than me, probably have a better facial structure. I know black guys that have been in the gym constantly, and they definitely have a harder time than I do. Like overseas, like, I don't know if you've heard of Austin Holloman. He's a very popular passport bro YouTuber. He was talking about when he went to like Peru. He was talking about how like we go to like restaurants and the waitresses would get his order wrong like multiple times, but they wouldn't do it with the white guy.
Brazil is, in my opinion, more racist than the United States, okay? I've said this 1,000 times. Black people are not in the newspaper. They're not on TV. They're not in the federal government. It's a lot harder for black people to get basic. Go to Brazil and see how many black people you meet that have cars. See how many black people live outside of the ghetto. And that's in the United States too, right? But we still have middle classes. Like where I'm at right now, it's a middle class area that's majority black. Usually in Brazil, it's not going to be middle class and majority black. It's going to be super low class and majority black. So again,
it's funny because I've said this before, even in conversation, right? A lot of passport bros or brothers that will travel to Brazil or Colombia or DR will say that, oh, racism isn't as bad as it is in the US. And the reality is, it's actually worse. The reason that they don't feel it is because they have the US privilege. We have the privilege of our American status, our United States citizenship, our passport, and most importantly, our US dollars. And again, I'm not complaining about it because, hey, listen, I benefit off that privilege. But let's be honest here. A lot of times I feel bad when I see the other African or Afro-Latin people. Essentially, they come across as just being invisible. It is what it is. They be the servers in the back, the cooks, and they're some of the most they're some of the kindest people that you'll meet when you go to Latin America. So with that being said, I say be nice to them, help them out. A couple dollars here and there goes a long way. Remember, it is a thing. Brazil even had a whitening of the race. I know that was a thing in Brazil. This is why Brazil is still very racist on a societal level. You'll see it when you're there. You know what I'm saying? You'll see the white people at the upper levels of society. And I'm not saying that there's not poor white Brazilians or poor white Colombians. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying in general, there's almost like a caste system when it comes to who's able to move up and who isn't. And most of these countries don't really have a booming middle class anyways, because their GDP and economy is just not there, which is why they're a third world or developing country. Again, this is not to insult the country. I love these countries. I plan on moving overseas myself, but I'm just pointing out the fact that there is a difference, and it helps to understand this when you're looking to date as a young man. You know, you might want to go to Cartagena if you're a brother instead of Medellin, right? Or if you're a white brother, you might want to hit Medellin or Bogota instead of Cali or Cartagena. Now, in reality, if you're a white brother, you can hit up anything. You can hit up any part of Latin America. Let's keep it a buck.
it sounds like you haven't been to many places. I've been a lot of places now, so that's why I know what I'm talking about. Brazil is more racist than the United States, and they have the same police brutality killings, if not worse. In 2020, the state of Rio had more, the state by itself, one state out of all the states in Brazil, had more police brutality killings than the entire United States. Brazil is, in my opinion, more racist than the United States. Okay?
And it's like, I mean, I think that the thing about black guys, like they definitely have it harder than white guys. When you're a black guy, you have like a niche appeal. You appeal to like very certain demographic women. Like there's a lot of women that like have like a type for black guys, but not appeal to the majority of women in the world, as opposed to where white guys, they can kind of go to any non-white country.
I'm surprised. Who conquered the modern world? Why in Latin America they speak Spanish? Because the Spaniards conquered them. There's a reason why in Brazil they speak Portuguese, because they were conquered by the Portuguese. There's a reason why, Australia looks the way it does, and that country, and Europe looks the way it does, and who runs that country? And even the United States, we speak English. Why? The British, right? If you disagree, put it in the comments and let's go back and forth on this topic, because I think it is something that's important, not to be something that is a distraction from brothers moving overseas and finding their peace of mind and happiness. I think it's just important, yet again, to be aware of where you're going, so you know your surroundings and you know where you're going to have preferential treatment.
Attention from women.
There's some black people that the fact that you're white and you're saying that will upset them. Do you get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But to me, as somebody who's balanced, I know that that's true. Do you get what I'm saying? That is true. That's what I've been saying. I've been saying it, like, and it is true, because, like, at the end of the day, like, for instance, you talking about your passport, bro. Yeah, it makes it even better, because a lot of people I talk to, they've been in their own corner and that's all they know. Do you get what I'm saying, bro? Like, all these guys talking about their passport, bros, black guys I'm talking about, and they're saying, I'm gonna go Philippines, I'm gonna go Vietnam, or any of these places, bro. Do you think that you're really gonna be winning over there?
No.
Come on, like,
some of those like third world countries, I think they hate black people more than they do in first world countries.
I think those countries, they have less they don't really have much multicultural
Yeah. What did I just say? I mean, hate is a strong word, but I think we don't see it that way because we have the United States privilege. And a lot of these countries, you go to these other places like the Philippines, Thailand, pick a country in Latin America. I think hate is a strong word. I think they just see you as where you are. You're just lower on the socioeconomic ladder. Because guess what? Your people were conquered by the Europeans that came there, which is why you speak their language. It is what it is. And I think the grift, when this passport bro movement started a couple of years ago, guys would be like, oh, they love black men all over the world. They love black men. And I would always disagree with that, because at best, it's a fetish that they just want to fantasize. If anything, it's not so much about loving you. It's a subset of women that are specifically attracted to you because you're black. But in the general populace, it's because you're American and you have a United States citizenship and you have the US dollar bill, y'all, that green. Now, again, this doesn't mean that you can't find love overseas. This doesn't mean that you can't find your happiness and peace of mind. I know, because I know guys that have done it. And in a lot of these countries now, the real dope thing is the Afro population does embrace you a lot of times. Yes, a lot of them do have that white worship thing in their head, but more times than not, in my experience, from what I've seen, you're going to be able to break through that. Right? You get an Afro-Latin chick, she's really in tune with her roots. Let's say she's from Palenque in Colombia, or again, she's a black father or black grandmother, or Cali or Brazil, and she's mixed, she has that mixed look, maybe the golden hair, tend to connect it to their African roots. Now, a lot of them will have that white worship thing in their head, like I said, but if you're dope, you're attractive, you have all of those things, yes, to be honest, a lot of times the white guy is going to be able to best you, but there's not enough of them to go around anyways. And if you got a lot going for yourself, you can still win, fellas.
Like, they're not really seeing black people like that. And, views of black people a lot of times is whatever they see on the internet, which is usually...
Quick funny story. So I was in Santa Marta maybe like 2 months ago. Me and my homeboy was out. We went to this party in a private beach, right? And one thing I noticed in Santa Marta, Colombia, a lot of the black people there were dark skinned, kind of looked like me. So I kind of blended in, right? And you think that's cool? All right, cool. Yeah, we go on this boat trip, and there are white Colombians, like basically all of them. We the only black looking people there. It was like we were invisible. It was the strangest thing I've ever experienced. People weren't really looking at us, weren't talking to us. They'll walk past me, not even look at me. I'm not used to that in Colombia at all, because usually they can sense that I'm a gringo. Maybe they hear me talk, they hear my off pronunciation type of Spanish, or they hear me speaking English usually, or the way that I dress is a little bit off, even in Cartagena, Medellin, or Barranquilla. But here in Santa Marta, for some reason, there's a bunch of dark-skinned Afro-Colombians. It's kind of strange. You'd think it'd be Cali, right? But they're there. And they look African, a lot of them. And I'm, again, originally from Ghana, so grew up in Florida. So anyways, we're on this island, real nice. But it's like, bro, we're invisible. My homies dark skin like me. We walk past people, they don't even acknowledge us. They don't look at us, no nothing. I ask questions to a couple people here and there, and they kind of keep it short. I've never experienced that. It was so weird. And then my homeboy says, yo, I think they think we're Afro-Colombians. I think they think people out on the shore where the boat left the dock. There's a bunch of people there trying to sell stuff on the beach. Then you had a lot of homeless, like dark skinned Afro Latinos and Latinas. And I realized, yo, I think he's right. We kind of just blended in. They thought we were one of them. We were invisible, bro. It was the weirdest thing. And like people, I could feel their energy shift when they heard me speak in English. I would talk to them. I try to say something in Spanish. I don't really know it. Then I tell them, hey, estoy aprendiendo español. I'm still learning Spanish. And they're like, oh, you're American. Countenance changed instantly. It was the weirdest thing. This is how I know that there's like a caste system. And them black people, them dark skinned Afro Latinos are invisible, dog. Not to mention, I've had several from Cali tell me the same thing.
Negative stereotypes, or like, you know, oh, black people, they don't have no money. I mean, so, and then, you know, just the in general ideologies of the world. Yeah, I think, I think a lot of, for instance, even South America, people to go and like, oh, you're black and go South America, blah, blah, blah. Bro, the racism there, bro.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Just said that.
Okay, so
I
like for
just
example,
said
like,
that.
and I will. There are a decent amount of black people in some of those countries. Like for example, like in Colombia, when I went to Colombia, there was an amount of people. It's not the majority. I would say it's maybe 10% of the country. I don't know the exact statistics, but like yeah, like you will see people. I'm not saying you're gonna look at you and be like, oh my gosh, black guy, get away from me.
Yeah, of course.
But like, you know, are women gonna want to date you? I like Tyrone.
I'm Tyrone.
Like, yeah, like, but like for like non-Tyrone black guys, I don't see them getting nothing. Whereas I feel like a week can be.
I say this all the time. Me and my homeboy always joke about this. And he's in a pueblo in Colombia. He's been there for many years. Jumped all around that country from Cartagena. Had his own travel company. And I tell him all the time, bro, the average white boy, flip flops, shorts, dusty white dude can pull the same chick I can pull. I'm in the gym 4 or 5 days a week. I come there dressed to the nines, fresh. I go there and I look like I'm somebody. Got the blue check on Instagram. Got the TV show. All this, that, the third. And the last 3 girls that I talked to in Colombia are all dating white boys now, and they're Afro Latinas, light skin, but they're with white guys now. And again, I don't care. No skin off of my back. It doesn't matter to me. Just I'm making a point that this white dude right here on the call, correct?
Like a nerdy white guy. I'm not gymnaxed. So like, bro, like I don't like. I feel like white guys. A lot of them are like awkward, or they're autistic, or they're. You know, it usually
they're not chads,
Exactly.
basically.
They're chads, but like I feel like they could in their own country, but don't have the social skills to do it.
Yeah. Like they would have been, not that they would be Devons, but they could get a girl.
They could maybe get a 6 or a 7, maybe.
No,
they could get a 5.
Not
They
even.
could
Maybe
get a 5.
6 or 7.
If they gymnaxed.
Yeah. Just be able to, like, that's a lot of the. That's what I said. That most of the game that a lot of white guys is just be confident, don't be fat, like. That's about it. Like,
I don't necessarily agree with the whole, you know, just be confident, bro. I think you have to have a main facial structure. You have to have like a certain body type. Can't be fat. You gotta have, or you.
Yeah, as you said, we gotta be Chad Tyrone, man. You gotta hit the gym. But it's funny because, or you gotta be tricking. No judgment from me, right? But at the end of the day, yeah, if you're not Gym Max, you don't have the looks. You gotta have some money. You don't have the money or the looks, then you gotta be white. Now, if you're white with the money and the looks, yo, the world is yours.
Have like I don't know what they call
I think
it,
if you're, I talk about, I'm going off of the average. So the average face,
yeah,
average face white guy. I'll get an average white chick, and it wouldn't be that hard for him. I just don't think it would be that hard.
I agree.
I think here's my thing. I used to get like okay girls in the past. Like let's like rewind years ago. I would say like 5. I'm not like. I think I'm above average, but I'm not anything special. I don't have blue eyes. You know, I don't have the perfect physique. I'm not fat or anything. But if I were to rewind like 5 years ago, I could easily get like girls that were like 5s, 6s, especially if they weren't white. But it's like you know, on Tinder, Bumble, it's like
it's social media. That's like
no
all
swearing.
the dating market is global.
Oh, my bad. But you know what I'm saying, bro? Like you go on.
You gotta be Chad Tyrone, bro.
Yeah, man.
Be Chad Tyrone. You have to be, and it's just, especially if you do online date. If you do dating apps, you better be Chad Tyrone. You
Yeah,
better be,
yeah.
because just forget about it, bruv.
Okay, so one thing I want to say is the big thing, because I kind of agree with the whole Blackville thing. It all comes down to race, height. You know, if you lack two of those things, you're gonna have a very hard time in dating. So one thing I want to say is like you need to, if you're lacking so much to the point where you can't get over the line, sometimes you're just best geomaxing and going to another country, because like maybe it might be over for you in one country, but like there's another path.
I agree. And that's what the passport movement is about, man. Find your peace of mind and happiness, but self-improve in every area. Because what's the point of going overseas and you're still unhealthy, right? You still can't manage your finances. You still have emotional and psychological problems because everywhere you go, there you are. With that being said, I thought this was an interesting video, which just goes over the difference that white men and we could say black men have dating abroad. It's very different, specifically in these Southeast Asian countries that a lot of us are going to, the Latin American countries a lot of us are going to. I think white men in general definitely have an advantage for sure. But if you're a black guy or any other race that's a minority, supposedly, uh, yeah, man, just be the best you can. Work out, as they say, right? Max out every area of your life and get out of that stress-driven, hyper competitive, materialistic nature of the West, right? And that's one of the reasons that we go overseas anyways, right? To de-stress, to relax, to slow down a bit, to have a quality of life. And that's really what it's all about at the end of the day, right? Because all of this, don't make excuses just because you're black or you're Hispanic or you're 5'6", like the guy said. There's always a place for you. There's what, 8 billion people in the planet? It's a big world out there, man. Get out there. Anyways, thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe. And what do you think about this topic? Leave a comment below. Let's have a discussion about this.